Welcome everybody to the community stand-up for HTBox for the project AllReady and others from time to time. We have some, we're pretty excited here. We've got some special guests joining us from across the pond. We also have Dave, Richard, and Tony on the line. Richard, we're gonna go to first. He's gonna give us just a little bit of an update about what's going on in his camp, but we're gonna ask you to turn your volume way up right now because he is recovering from a very...
The plague.
Yes, the Dutch
Yeah,
plague.
pretty much the plague. So, Richard, go ahead and give us an update where you're at.
Actually been in the Netherlands all week at a conference. Came down with something nasty and have pretty much been holed up in a friend's place for the past few days. I had meant to be at the Eindhoven event, but nobody wants this, least of all me, and I'm not good for much anyway. Hopefully the patches did make it their way down there because we do have a set of Eindhoven patches, and oh, I see them being shown off. So it's happened, and the only other thing to bring up, and you'll see me tweeting about this regularly, is the next Codathon that I'll be involved in will be in London at the NDC conference in January.
Right on. Okay, thanks very much, Richard. We'll let your voice rest. Tony, there's London in January, NDC. There's a bunch of other events as well that you've got on there we're tracking.
Yep. So we've got one each month, actually, and we'll have some more to announce in the coming weeks. But as we know and as we'll get to, we've got today in Eindhoven, so we'll be talking about that in a moment. December 10th, we've got the two Londons coming up. December 10th, we have London, Ontario. We'll be doing a Codathon. They'd done one about a year ago or so, so we're very much looking forward to that. And then, as Richard mentioned there, and I'll state again, we've got January 16th and 17th, so something coming up in January, in London, England, and that will be part of the conference he spoke about. So we've got a Codathon every month, as well as you know, we've got code that's just been pouring in every day and every way through pull requests and issues and such. In fact, I closed out almost about a dozen so far this week, and that was before today. We're well over 2,300 commits. We're hitting almost 90 contributors now, which is great. And we're really knocking out the issues. We had a number of them logged this week from Jim and Pascal. And you know, as we'll hear about in a second, not only did some folks start working on them earlier this week, but a lot of them are getting knocked out today, which is wonderful to see. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we're talking about doing, and we didn't quite get there for this conference, but there's the new feature on GitHub called Projects, which is going to help allow us to, you know, at least set a whole bunch of jump in and easy to target things that are going to be available to contributors for upcoming events. So we're going to try and spend some time in the coming weeks to get that in place and really help kick off these codathons that in a way that, you know, they can jump right in and start working on code and whatnot. Yep.
In fact, Barry, I'm sure I'll talk about how he did that physically with Post-it notes, I believe, today. And last week on the stand-up, we had Justin talk about a little piece of code he's actually going to open source that he used to make cards that he printed out that had issue numbers and tags and cute stuff like that, and did it physically in the room as well.
Right on. Very cool. Okay, from the wider community, one of our regular contributors, Dave Paquette, is on the line, and you've been dealing with the super easy topic of date time.
Super easy, nothing complicated about it at all. Yeah, this week there was kind of one last piece that had been stumping me for a while, that the datetime format. What we're trying to do for this initial release of AllReady is to just force it all to English US, just for this first release, and then we'll kind of tackle the datetime formatting for different cultures in a future release. But for some reason, it was defaulting back to local culture for formatting dates and times, and took me a while. Spent some time with James kind of debugging why that would be. It just wasn't working the way it was documented to work in ASP.NET Core, and eventually found that it was a bug in the framework if we were targeting .NET 4.5.1, which is an older version of the framework, and we were only targeting because we kind of started with early betas of ASP.NET Core. So migrating over to .NET 4.6 solved that problem, and the eventual plan is to have this application target .NET Core, the .NET Core runtime, which will also fix the bug. So spent a lot of time this week working on that. It was kind of an interesting adventure into the guts of the runtime.
Yeah, we
managed
did
to
a
get that
little
one
bit
going.
of we did a little bit of on-the-fly middleware there to kind of try and isolate and triage that one. It was that's fun. But you've spent an absolute a metric ton of time on that, and so the project definitely sends. we're all just standing back and letting you tackle that. Thank you very much. And it's frustrating when it ends in something like that being a bug, right? So that you didn't write. So awesome work on that. Huge shout out to Dave these last few years in solving this problem. Okay.
As we're starting to call him.
Yes, Daytime Paquette. Okay. Now we've got a really special cast of visitors here joining us from the Netherlands as well. Barry, I know that you're in the room there. Would you mind speaking to a little bit about your past day? You're on the tail end of your day. We're just getting started over here, but you guys are almost done.
Yeah, exactly. It's 5 o'clock here in the evening. I hope everybody can hear us well. We've had a great day here. We've been with 15 some developers working on this. Give a shout out. Yay! And I think we've done great for the first time. We've had lots of learnings, lots of people learning Git and GitHub, also things like ASP.NET Core and how all that stuff works. So lots of people had the chance to learn new things and to have a lot of fun. And during all of that, we actually did some stuff as well. So I think we did 6, 7, maybe 8 pull requests up till now. And hopefully some of you guys, hopefully everybody, obviously, will continue to contribute. And
I think if Richard had more of a voice, he would say something along these lines. When we have these events, it is so encouraging to see a group of people come out and dedicate a day of their life into doing something like this for the greater good, coding for the greater good. And one of the biggest rewards is when that group of people is able to learn something new, which it sounds like some of you have, and that is wonderful. And then afterwards to continue to contribute. So things like partway through a pull request and finishing it off this week or whatever, those kinds of things are just so rewarding for us to see. And because this is something where, we're not in this, we're all volunteers here. We're doing this to make the lives of those who work in the volunteer space, in the charities around the world, to make their lives easier and to help solve some of these logistical problems of having software developed and then abandoned. And you guys are making that part of a reality. And we've got this launch coming up in December here, and your contributions today are invaluable. And we just want to give yourselves a round of applause again, because you guys that's awesome. Great job today.
James,
Tony, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, the thing I first of all echo everything you said. I mean, the whole point of Humanitarian Toolbox is to do basically 3 things: get as many people involved in open source as possible, help them learn new technologies, learn new skills, things that'll help them in their current job or maybe get a new job, and then make the solutions that are used by nonprofits sustainable and actually usable with current technology. And what you guys are doing, I actually just did a quick count. We have a dozen pull requests from today. 12 pull requests is huge. That's probably one of our biggest set of pull requests from a single day conference. So very much want to congratulate you on that. As well as we had the folks, Pascal and Jim, who are actually going to be using the software and helping those who use it. They made a bunch of issues earlier this week, and you guys have addressed like half of them. And that's stunning to have issues come in, get documented, some back and forth on some questions, and then get them closed in a day in a conference. So, it's great that we're expanding to Europe, and you guys are our first codathon there. So very excited about that. And it's great that it's a wild success. So couldn't be more thankful and more excited about what's coming out of here and how this is going to contribute to our December release. So again, from Humanitarian Toolbox, from all of us, this is just stunning and very great to see. So thank you.
I'll try and further on that. I wasn't able to follow through with this week, but I have been in touch with the Dutch Red Cross. They are very interested in what you guys have been doing, as well as AllReady. So I expect we'll be having conversations in the future about how the Dutch Red Cross can use this project and is interested in some other projects that we could all collaborate on together as well.
Excellent. Just wanted to point out as well that you don't only get to learn stuff, but you also get some swag, maybe. We should pull this together, and a special thanks to my wife Emily for picking it up.
Yeah, she didn't want to get too close to me, so we sort of passed it gently. And, and I got a nice gift.
So either James is holding very, very still, or, yep, he just dropped out, or he froze. And it turns out that in all of technology, the two hardest problems are dates and times, as Dave knows, and any kind of video conferencing. And so we tend to have some challenge with that every week, every time. So if James were not frozen, or in fact, he may be coming back, what we would basically be doing now is kind of, there he is. We'd be wrapping up. So James, you want to wrap it up, assuming it works? Oh, and you're on mute.
Computers are hard, man. I swear. Okay. Thanks very much, everyone. And thanks again for joining us. We will be back next week. I'm not going to say a time or date. Just check YouTube, because I hope they've got times and dates right there. And we've got a channel. Just check out our upcoming live streams, and you'll see us next week at approximately the same time, whatever date time zone you are in. Thanks a lot, everyone.